Canada finds itself at a political crossroads. The air crackles with uncertainty. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's decision to delay calling a federal election has ignited a firestorm of debate. Canadians are sharply divided. Some applaud his steady hand in turbulent times. Others accuse him of clinging to power. The stakes are high. The future of Canadian democracy hangs in the balance. At the heart of the matter lies a fundamental question. When should a leader seek a fresh mandate from the people? Trudeau argues that now is not the time for an election. He points to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and the fragile economic recovery. He insists that his government needs to stay focused on steering Canada through these challenges. His critics counter that Canadians deserve a say in their future. They argue that the pandemic has fundamentally changed the political landscape. They point to Trudeau's declining approval ratings as evidence that he no longer enjoys the confidence of the majority. This debate is about more than just the timing of an election. It cuts to the very core of Canadian democracy. It raises profound questions about the balance of power between the people and their elected officials. It forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth that our political system is not immune to the forces of division and polarization that are tearing apart democracies around the world.
Justin Trudeau's decision to delay calling an election is a high-stakes gamble. It's a calculated risk that could either solidify his legacy or hasten his downfall. By clinging to power, he risks alienating voters who feel he is out of touch with their concerns. Yet, by delaying, he buys himself time to try to regain the public's trust. Trudeau's supporters argue that he is a pragmatic leader who understands the gravity of the challenges facing Canada. They believe that he is putting the needs of the country ahead of his own political ambitions. They point to his government's record on issues like climate change and social justice as evidence that he is the right person to lead Canada into the future. However, Trudeau's critics see a different narrative unfolding. They view his reluctance to call an election as a sign of weakness and a lack of confidence in his own leadership. They believe that he is afraid of facing the judgment of the people. They point to his government's handling of the economy and the COVID-19 pandemic as evidence that he is no longer fit to govern. The truth likely lies somewhere in between these two extremes. Trudeau is a shrewd politician who is no stranger to taking risks. He is also a deeply ambitious leader who is determined to leave his mark on Canadian history. His decision to delay calling an election is a reflection of both of these realities.
The Liberal Party of Canada finds itself caught between a rock and a hard place. On one hand, there is a deep sense of loyalty to Justin Trudeau, the man who led them to a stunning election victory in 2015. On the other hand, there is a growing recognition that he may no longer be the best person to lead the party to victory in the next election. This dilemma has created a palpable sense of anxiety within the Liberal ranks. Some party members are openly calling for Trudeau to step aside, arguing that a fresh face is needed to revitalize the party and connect with voters. Others are urging patience, believing that Trudeau can still turn things around. This internal struggle is playing out against the backdrop of a rapidly changing political landscape. The rise of populism and the increasing polarization of Canadian society are creating new challenges for traditional political parties. The Liberals are not immune to these trends. They are struggling to maintain their relevance in a world where voters are increasingly drawn to more extreme options. The longer this internal debate drags on, the more damage it does to the Liberal brand. The party risks appearing divided and rudderless at a time when Canadians are looking for strong and decisive leadership. If the Liberals hope to hold on to power, they need to quickly resolve their internal differences and present a united front to the Canadian people.
Across Canada, from bustling cities to quiet rural towns, the debate over Trudeau's refusal to call an election rages on. Dinner table conversations transform into heated political debates. Social media platforms become echo chambers of outrage and frustration. The country appears increasingly polarized, with each side entrenched in their beliefs. Public opinion polls paint a mixed picture. While Trudeau's approval ratings have taken a hit in recent months, he remains a polarizing figure. Some Canadians continue to admire his charisma and progressive values. Others have grown disillusioned with his leadership, citing concerns about the economy, healthcare, and his handling of various scandals.
This division is reflected in the halls of power. Opposition parties smell blood in the water, sensing an opportunity to capitalize on public discontent. They are ramping up their attacks on the government, accusing Trudeau of being out of touch and unfit to lead. They are demanding that he respect the democratic process and call an election. The political fallout from Trudeau's decision is only just beginning. The longer he waits to call an election, the greater the risk of further alienating voters and emboldening his opponents. The stakes are high for both Trudeau and the country.